Good morning, children of God. Good morning. I was a little concerned this morning with all the construction. I think people said, oh, they must be closed. There's all the barriers. Now, when you get through barriers to come to church, you're doing just fine. That's all I can say. Which brought me to that. Stop comparing yourself with others. Be yourself. Be yourself, the self that God created you to be. No one else can give your gift to the world. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Sometimes we forget that. Or we think we're wrapped in little packages. But we're going to open that package wide today. Let's center and begin this celebration in prayer. O loving Father, Mother God, we acknowledge your presence right here with us this day. We know you're moving through us to bring good to our world. This day we ask for your guidance and for your direction. And this day we choose to be open and receptive and responsive to your instruction and guidance. In joy and with an open heart, we are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, and in the power of the Christ. Amen. Today's daily word
is comfort, and Sally will read the daily word.
And we need that today.
Yeah, no kidding.
Morning, family. The nuts and fruits and all the other people are nutty too. Just us. We're all in the back seat singing. Okay, today's lesson is comfort. And in the comfort of God's presence, I find true rest and peace. My greatest source of comfort comes in recognizing God's omnipotent presence. Right where I am, wherever I go, God, the source of all power, knowledge, and good, is with me. There's no place I can go where God is not. There is no experience I will ever face alone. It may be true that I am not always aware of this presence. Any feelings of separation dissipate when I turn within and affirm, in God I live and move and have my being. I repeat these words until truth washes over me. I repeat, I am filled with a feeling of warmth. Any mental disconnect fades. In the comfort of God's presence, I find true rest and peace. And from Acts 17:28, for in him we live and move and have our being, as even some of your own poets have said, for we too are his offspring.
You know that? Yeah. Just left the verse alone. One of the challenges that we have is that we're all part-time singers. Well, not Steve, but the rest of us are part-time singers. So trying to figure out where I'm supposed to do what, particularly when I don't have notes, is kind of a challenge. So we're playing with it. And later today, on one of the slides, you'll see a song where words are underlined. And if you listen, you'll hear the music stretch that word. And that's what that means. So if you see a word underlined, it's just a stretch in the music, gives you time to set up for whatever the next verse is. So there you go. Lesson 2 for today. So you got your microphone lesson, you got a music lesson. This is a great place to be on Sunday. It just is. Yeah, woohoo. You learn stuff you never thought you'd come to church to learn, right? Well, this is part of your experience. Learning is part of your experience. See, knowing is part of your experience as well, and that's what we're going to be working on next, is moving into bringing the longest trip in the world is from right about here to right about here, coming from your intellect to your heart. And part of it is becoming aware, and part of it is knowing, and that's what we're going to work on. You see, we've discovered that the more often you state with power and authority who you are and who you wish to be, the more that will begin to show up in your world. So let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. Let us rest into that and sing into it as we join with Steve. I am. From your heart now. And so now, gently and easily, we move into that place within us that Jesus called our inner closet, our secret place. Charles Fillmore said for him that that secret place was right behind his heart. And we think about what we've learned over the years, that there are cells around our heart that are similar in nature to the cells we find in our brain. It's interesting. The more we learn, the more we know what we have been taught is true, that when we come from our heart, we change our world. And there are instructions on how to do that. And one of the instructions Jesus gave to us, he said, when you enter into this place, close the door. We close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I should have done. We close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do this day. And for one holy moment, we breathe, we rest, and we listen. In our prayers, we're learning to ask, believing. Here in the stillness and in the silence, answers come. Perhaps in the form of a word, wholeness, healing, order, love. Perhaps this day, these gifts come in the form of vibrations from the music. Regardless of how they come to you this day, know that these gifts come wrapped in love. This day, in this moment, I choose to claim these gifts. I reach out and say yes. I immerse myself in them. And as I do so, each and every cell of my being responds. I am whole and well. As I listen, I hear that small, still voice. Which reminds me, I'm a channel through which good flows into my world. Right here, right now, I open that channel wide. From me, through me, good flows. From you, through you, good flows. First, into this room. Joining with other thought of like mind. Healing. Touching. Blessing each and every one of God's children. From me, through me, good flows into our spiritual community, wherever that might be this day. To those who have asked that we join with them in prayer for healing, our friend Diane Koash and Mary Lucido, Dick Barry, the McEwen family. From me, through me, good flows into our city, touching, healing, blessing, across our state, across our country, around our world. From me, through me, good flows. Throughout our universe. And as we affirm our oneness, we know that somewhere, somewhen, someone is saying thank you. For right now, in this moment, that which has come from you, through you, is gratefully received. And that gratitude swells up and returns to you. The circle of life, whole and complete. The knowing of oneness rests within. In this knowing I rest and breathe and have my being for one holy moment. Knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, holding to this experience we have shared gently now and easily, we bring our attention back to this place, to this time. And from my heart, I join with you and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, taught us when he said, "As for you, pray therefore in this manner." Yeah, I put that one back up. Do a split screen on that one for me, Dennis, for a second. I want to show the folks at home this picture again, because there's a story that goes with it. This is Steve in day 2 of trying to change the music. There is no filter. There's just none. There's just none. Oops, turn that back. I play with that because before service, Steve and I were talking about the song that he just played. he sat literally, you were so blessed, he sat down and looked at the words and said, we need to change a couple of things. So he changed the words. Then he looked at the melody and said, you know, I've got a song that I've done a long time ago that I think will fit these words. And so he redid the melody. So both what you heard and what you read are what Steve was playing on. And he said, I spent a couple of days. And when he said it, he did just like that earlier this morning. I don't even know if he remembers. But as soon as I saw that picture of the frog, I went, oh, that's what Steve did. And the funny thing is it fits right into what we're talking about. It's just rest. It's just rest. Right? And that's really what the Sabbath is all about, is it's just a time of rest. When I have done my work, I rest. Right? And there's a habit of ours as human becomings that the Sabbath is generally a full day, and it is either the first day of the week or the last. Depends on who you talk to. And both thoughts are correct, more or less, when you consider that we create days for our use as we create time for our use. Trying to figure out how our world works. And the more we know, the more we make changes. As an example, it wasn't until relatively recently that we added a day on our calendar every 4 years. Now I say relative, meaning in the last 100 years or so. We added an extra day. Why? We found out our clocks didn't work. Didn't match. So we created a whole day to make up for what we didn't know. I thought, well, that's kind of cool. And now we have atomic clocks, and they're wrong too. Meaning, they're accurate for what they do, but our understanding of how it goes is so small, it's so infinitesimal, that we just don't understand it yet. And they're making those changes of our atomic clocks every year. A few seconds here, a few seconds there, which means absolutely 0 to 99% of us, except the guy who works the computers where things work on a time clock. And then nanoseconds become important. I heard this definition of a nanosecond. We all know what a minute is. We all know what a second is. A nanosecond is the amount of time it takes from the red light to turn green before the guy behind you honks his horn. That's a nanosecond. It's just part of our learning experience, and the more we know, we discover, the less we know. And it's okay, because this too is just part of our learning experience. Eh? We are created by perfection. God is all, both visible and invisible. This one that is all is perfect, life, love, intelligence, and substance. Man is, therefore you and I are, an expression of God. One with perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. Perfect. Now, we're learning how to express that perfection. How are you doing so far? Pretty good. How do I know? Because you're here. Right? I was in a counseling session earlier in the week, and when the individual I was working with was having a real challenge about detours. You know, this is the plan, and I ended up on this detour, and this is the plan, and I ended up on that detour, and I went, stop, breathe. Guess what? The detours was the plan. So you had to learn something on what you perceived to be that detour that was missing on the plan that you put out there. So back up and say thank you. Well, you see, when you do that, that changes your whole perception on what's going on. It takes a while, and there are things on your list, as there are things on mine, that I'm not ready yet to release. Right? Here's the truth. Every experience you have had in this lifetime and others, if that's what your belief is, has brought you to this point in time. And every experience you have had that brought you to this point is good because God is good. Now, I look at those experiences and I have some that I go, ooh, no, Rob, I don't know, I'm not ready to put good on that one. I'm just not. Okay. Don't. Can you shift it from whatever label you have on it as bad, wrong, whatever, and just shift it to is. This experience occurred. Period. When I can do that, I'm halfway home. Because now I'm no longer labeling it bad. And in time, I will learn how to shift it from just is to good. That experience was good because it brought me to here, where I know I am one with this perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. And I'm learning how to express that oneness in a unique way. It's like I started this today. You are a unique individual. You bring a gift to this world and to me, thank you, that no one else can bring. No one else can bring your gift. Right? The challenge is we don't think our gift has much value. My gift's just a itty bitty one. Right? You guys are okay, but that's why I think that. Right? And what I'm learning is no, my gift has value. That which I am has value. But it's taken a long time to get there. And that's part of our process. And part of that process, and it's really difficult for us in this particular experience we share, to take time in the Sabbath. We're busy. Right? And we forget to take time out. Right? Now, some religions, our Jewish brethren, the Orthodox Jews, take off from Friday night till Saturday sundown. And if they're really Orthodox, do nothing. No work, no cooking, no cleaning, no thinking about emptying out the closet, no making a list of what I'm going to do after the Sabbath is over. If they're Orthodox, they're focused on what? On the truth of themselves, of resting within God. Say, the Sabbath defined it, and I love what Charles Fillmore wrote, and I want to share it with you. This is my favorite part of his description. The Sabbath is kept any time we enter into spiritual consciousness and rest from thoughts of temporal things. And that's what we did in our prayer time a little while ago, didn't we? As I closed the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do, what I haven't yet done. But I go into that time of literally the Sabbath. Right? And it's where I can let go of this external stuff that's going on. I'm not required to wait for the last day of the week or the first day of the week. I just need to get in the habit of being in the process of explaining to me. See, I don't need to explain to you who you are. You know who you are. Hopefully what we're doing is just giving you some tools to say, I can use this tool to reach out, to really explain to me who I am so that I can step out in a new way. And I can remember the first time I shared this with somebody, I got what I called a deer in the headlight look. Okay? And it starts this way. Every cell of my being, from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head, from the tips of my toes to the tips of my fingers, every cell, every system in this body temple, every organ in this body temple is working together in love and in harmony to express the perfection with which it was created. But you see, each and every cell is a part of God. Each and every system is a part of creation and created in good. But I need to rest in that. Boy, that is hard to hold as I'm going through my day. Sometimes it's hard to hold just in thought. Right? So as I'm working on a challenge, if I've gone through my steps, beginning with let there be light, enlightenment, looking at, becoming aware of a challenge, working through the steps till I've done all that I can do, then I need to do what? Breathe and rest. That's when I go into that secret place. I don't need to stay there long, but I need to do it regularly. I've shared with you before, my most productive days are the days when, at the top of the hour, I stop for 6 minutes. By the way, that's a tithe, just in case you're wondering. Okay, for 6 minutes, where I literally shut down my computer, turn off my radio, make sure that the phone is off the hook, and I just spend some time here, giving thanks for what has occurred in my last hour, being grateful for the tools that I have available to me, asking for guidance and direction so that I can move forward in the next hour, and being grateful for that guidance and direction. And 9 times out of 10, that's my 6 minutes. Sometimes I go a little longer, and sometimes I look at my clock and say, okay, I'm ready to just breathe again for a little bit more. Let's just stay centered. And at the end of 6 minutes, boom, I go. And for every day that I do that, where I do that every hour on the day, I get more done, productivity in that day, than days when I'm scattered. You need to take that rest. You need to enter into that time of rest. And that's what the Sabbath is all about. Sometimes we think, because we look around us, that others look at that time and say, well, gee, what did you do in that 6 minutes? You didn't do anything but just kind of sat there. I know, I watched you through the window and you just sat there. Well, they don't look through my window. That guy's a peeping Tom, and the city's already dealt with him. Thank you very much. Just saying. But so I say that to me sometimes. What are you doing? You just sat there. And then I have to remember, well, of course you just sat there. Duh. That's what you were supposed to be doing. You took the time. Now, the sitting time is over. Let's get the mind back on, get to work. I go, okay, boom, and off I go. We have great teachers who have spent time with us saying, pay attention. You need this process. Each and every step of it, not some of it, all of it. One of my favorite expressions of late has been this one. The 10 Commandments is not a choose your option list. You get the whole thing. I share that with you because our teacher came and said, I didn't come to fulfill the law, which is how we were taught it. I came to add to the law. And to that 10, he added this. Father and I are one, you and I are one. That's the first part. The second part that he added is the love piece that's there, kind of, but he really strengthened. Love one another even as I have loved you. Love your neighbor as yourself, which says I have to love me. And the third thing he added, which is the season we're in, and life is eternal. You will see what appears to be death, but life is eternal. So we're learning how to step through that as well, how to make those transitions in peace and on purpose when we're ready. Sometimes we don't think we are, but we're always ready for transitions from one thought to another. We have the tendency to look at it big picture, bring it tight. Let's make a transition right now. Here's how it works. If you are holding a thought, I am unloved or not loved, pick one, drop that one, and try this. I am a beloved child of God. Together? I am a beloved child of God. Breathe. And to that child of God say, I love you. Together? I love you. To that child of God, I bless you. Together? I bless you. To that child of God, I appreciate you. Together? I appreciate you. And now expand the vision to that child of God and each and every one of God's children in this moment. I behold the Christ. Together? I behold the Christ. And now let's take the Sabbath. Breathe. And so it is.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.